Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do a little video on introversion, extroversion, or mainly introversion actually, because basically it's something where I've always said with my friends I'm halfway in the middle of the spectrum between introversion and extroversion, where I feel like there's actually a word for it, to be honest, where you can be both. So lockdown actually has been a really nice change for me because I did have a really outgoing job beforehand. And basically I was watching a video on YouTube how someone was saying how we live in quite an extroverted world, and I guess there's different parts of the world, but I think he's got a point in terms of social media and how I don't know, obviously he was a bit younger than me, so he'd have a certain perspective that maybe I don't, being slightly older, but I do know what he means in terms of there can be pressures, especially when you're younger, to be extroverted, and even if you've not been at school for ages, it can be something that you're subconsciously carrying around, and I probably am as well, because even though I'm half and half, I have been around friends in school years, especially when I was travelling to my first school on a bus for 3 hours, that were with my friends that were much more extroverted than me, and I felt quite drained at times because I was half and half. I could have fun with them, but I did also need my own time because that's just how I am, and I sort of was made to feel guilty because of those sort of impulses, and it's really hard when people want stuff from you, especially if you've grown up with family members that were more extroverted than you, even more introverted if you are an extrovert as well, because I know for a fact in family gatherings and stuff, my family that I used to do Christmases with, I'm a bit older now, but so I don't really do that as much, but they are more, I think, extroverted than me, so I can find that quite draining, and then get emotional because I just feel drained and stressed, but anyway, I just think yeah, I think when you're in school it can be tricky, because I always was on the quieter side in later school, because in my first half of school I was so pressured into extroversion by friends because I did have to spend so much time on a bus with them every day, and that was hard for me to deal with looking back, especially because of all the other shit I had going on, but I do think in school, you form all your beliefs. Your brain is a computer at the end of the day. We do intake, things from the world, and program our brain through our experiences a lot of the time, so just as I learned it's okay to be an introvert during those times, I think I was more affirmed because I had more introverted friends that were more on my level when I did go to my second school, but yeah, in school I feel like people that are very introverted, and for me even, I was half and half, but I came across kind of awkward in my second school, probably even in my first school as well, to be honest, just because I wasn't the loudest girl in school. I feel or in the class, I feel like in school you do get people that are very, very outspoken, for various reasons, and you do get people that are really quiet, and I feel like I was definitely on the quieter end in classrooms. With my friends I was really bubbly and chatty and being how I am now, I guess, honest, and with your friends you have a joke, especially in school. I did, everyone's different, but I feel I do feel yeah, in school there's this pressure, and I feel as you get older you do develop more social skills, because I feel in school you do kind of stick to your friendship groups, where I don't know, I do think some people are social butterflies, and I did have multiple friends in school, so I did sort of socialise with different people, but you are with the same set of people every single day, so it's when you do get older and you socialise with different people that your social skills grow naturally, but I feel I definitely grew my social skills with college, and then I went into support work and I had therapy as well, so that obviously helped me be more verbal about how I was feeling, because I think that's something I really struggled with, and I think a lot of people do, to be honest, verbalizing how they feel, especially if you don't understand it yourself, or you have inner trauma, or you've just been basically conditioned not to, so yeah, and I think this just doesn't go well with triggers for anxiety, because especially in school I feel like it's easy to like be triggered by like loud stuff if you're sensitive, like, and people that like are intimidating or whatever. Like if you have that sort of, I was even watching a video the other day or yesterday or even today, I'm not sure, on like this stereotype of a girl, like it was a story about a girl that was anxious in school, and you could see like, you know, how they do it on films where, you know, there's all that noise around you and you blur out and she's walking towards the front of the classroom because the teacher's asked her to write something on the board. And I feel like I was a bit like that, to be fair, where you're just, I wouldn't go far enough to say I did struggle with that. Like it did just make me a bit nervous being introverted and extroverted. But yeah, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I do think I'm more on the introverted side slightly. Like if I had to put myself on a spectrum of here's extroverted, here's introversion, I feel like I'm like here. Like I can get energy from being extroverted, but I also really, really need my own time more than I realised, to be honest. I thought I was more around here, but I'm actually not. I'm like here. It's just interesting to learn, like lockdown's really been quite relaxing for me, to be honest, where I've had to be on my own. Like I'm literally, I do stuff now and I'm getting plans for my online store and stuff, but it's like I really do enjoy spending more time on my own, to be honest, and it is just such a nice feeling, because the fact is we are all different. Like some people are built to be really social and those people might enjoy like a retail job. I'm not saying I would never get a retail job, but I feel like, you know, something more social. I did do support work for like, you know, 2 years or whatever, and that was actually really fun for me. But to swing back, it's nice to do things that are more introverted for a while. So I was even looking at shop jobs the other day, but anyway, it's kind of off topic, but just as like a little side thing. But it's get back onto this, yeah, triggers, and I think it's about also like as you learn more about yourself, it's about like picking and fitting a lifestyle around your own like needs and preferences, because we are kind of like, sometimes you can fall into a job or you can fall into a situation where and I don't think it's necessarily you have to be an extrovert to be working in a shop, for example. Like a lot of the time, especially if you work in like a convenience store, especially on like a night shift, you're on your own like a lot of the time anyway. So that's worth keeping in mind, especially in support work. I've met so many introverted, or what seemed to be like more introverted people in support work, and they were, you know, you just can kind of, you can navigate that situation whatever way you need to, because people are usually quite respectful of each other. I think probably that goes for most jobs, unless it's like really toxic and just crap, because we've all been there. Only once, but yeah, it wasn't great, but there we go. So yeah, it just really doesn't tie in well to triggers, because I do find that, I don't know, like I feel like if you're more extroverted, you can laugh stuff off a bit more, whereas people that are really low down on the introverted scale, as in if you're really on the introverted side, you might not get that sort of that relief from getting that external validation, because you are introverted. So you might literally just kind of hide from it and like just like not look for that external validation. And to be honest, I don't think I really picked up on this, because you don't. I feel like as a child you just kind of find your own way through school, and I remember sort of being friends with a couple of people who were friends with someone else that was really, really quiet, and I honestly didn't think about it, but I think if I knew a few people in school that were kind of like this. But I think mainly it's just about understanding yourself and understanding your triggers. For me, what's helped me is to have like trust in like the world. Obviously just getting through life, you just like learn this and that and what works for you and stuff, but having like trust in like the world. And when I was a bit younger, which obviously I'm only 23 now, this is not the end of my clubbing days, I'll tell you that, but I feel like I used to socialise with people that I didn't know, and I'd like push myself to go out even if I wasn't even feeling like it. Like my mum would always encourage that as well. Like she would be the same, where like sometimes she's quite extroverted and she'd still get like this, to be fair. And it's not to say all extroverts are always buzzing to go out, because I know my mum's quite extroverted, I think, and she even would struggle sometimes. She'd be like, oh, I can't bother to go out, because she's very chatty, and I think it just drains her energy as well. So it's just dependent on the individual, really. But anyway, yes, so that's all I want to say really, but thank you for listening. Bye.